Yo, it's Andre. In today's video, I'm answering the request of one of my commenters. They told me to make a video about. Let's see. He said, "Can you make a video of why?" Let's see. Oh yeah, he said, "Can you make a video of why it feels so good to look at a female's body? You know, the female gender. Why it feels so good to look at their body? We get so much excitement from it, non-stop. Something like that. We get so much." It feels so good non-stop. We have so much yeah. Basically he said why does it feel so good to look at their bodies, why we get so excited from it. He wanted me to explain that in details, why we get so much excitement from it, and it's basically never ending energy. It feels good, and why we also, because of that, we have our harem collection and it never gets old to us. We love it. And there's no such thing as boredom. We love looking at our videos and photos. Basically, so anyway, I will answer your question about all of that. Okay. The reason why it feels good to look at a female, a human female, naked is because we're human men, and human females are created for human males to enjoy sexually. And to explain it in detail, well, think about it this way. Think about the void, right? When there was no creation, right? The void realized himself. When he realized himself, that's when the self-awareness counterpart was born. Yep, and as soon as she was born, yeah, self-aware, see? And then he created through her as a portal, which is having sex, yeah. And that's why they had the light and the wisdom, their children, yeah. So anyway, it's the same as that, basically. When, it's like this, when a human man sees a human woman, it's basically becoming self-aware. In that regard, it's the same feeling. It's the best way to explain it as purest form. It feels good because, they're the embodiment of that second mind within us. You know how we have the self-awareness within us? Females are the physical embodiment of that. So, when we look at a woman and lust after her, that's basically self-awareness. We're becoming self-aware, but on the outside. It's a man looking at a woman. That triggers the self-awareness. And if that's why it feels completely good, it feels like, yeah. So, that's the best way to explain it in detail. Females are the embodiment of our second mind, They originally come from males too, but they're literally on the outside of us, they're literally the physical embodiment of our second mind, which is our self-awareness counterpart. Our self-awareness is also called the ego, the emotion, the chaos, the action, the motivation itself. That's right. So not only are they called self-awareness, they're called motivation. This is why just looking at them, we get motivated. It triggers motivation, because females are the motivation itself, embodiment, and self-awareness, and all the terms she's known as. So we're basically looking at a part of our feminine side, but on the outside, and just like, because we love our every part of our being, So that's why we get that same feeling with females. Because they're literally our feminine side on the outside. And yeah, so we get the same reaction we have with them from within ourselves. You know how we have within ourselves? This is why men on average are always happy and positive. Because, we're positive. Yeah, we're the positive molecule. And like I said, the feminine side originally came from males. So their existence is from us. So this is also part of why we're always happy and uplifted. Females are the embodiment of that second part of us. Yeah, the emotion, all of that. So this is why we get sexually turned on by them. You understand, right? That's the best way I can explain it. That's why our harem collection, our naked females that we have, photos and videos, why they never get boring. Because the female gender is just fun to enjoy sexually by itself. Yeah. It's just their motivation, excitement itself. That's why we get triggered when we see them naked, and they're literally the incarnation of motivation, self-awareness itself, and it's also like becoming self-aware. The females are based off that part of us, so they're just the embodiment of that. That's why we're triggered the same as we are with our own self-awareness within us. Yeah, that's why we're triggered the same with them. That's how it is like with us. This is why a man can do with or without woman. Because we'll still enjoy sexual energy on our own. Even if we don't have a woman, But if we had a woman, it's basically the same feeling we have within. It's just happening on the outside from within. That's pretty much the best way to describe it. So it triggers a reaction, action, reaction. Yeah, females are the physical embodiment of motivation, or what else you see known as action. Yeah, the ability to do anything. Remember, chaos. When you're using chaos, you can use it for good or evil. Oh yeah, chaos is also called action in general, motivation, self-awareness. That's all that means. So that's why we get triggered. In we feel good when we look at a woman. But we can also generate that same energy on our own, since we have an inner female, the X chromosome, which females are made from. Human females are made from, basically. So yeah, that's why. So I hope you understand this explanation, because yeah, let me know what you think of this video. Yeah, I answered your question. Yeah, with us men, because females come from men, a man can generate sexual energy with a female on his own. A female is just the physical embodiment of that, and we're basically doing it with them no different from within. Whenever we have sex with them, or we look at them, it's no different from our inner feminine, Oh yeah. Like I said, the reason why our harem collection is more valuable than ordinary cards, baseball cards and all kinds of cards, is because the image of naked females is valuable itself. It's triggering itself. Like, instead of it being an inspiration, it's just sexually attractive. That's it, and that's what we love. This is why we don't have to sell our harem collection, because it triggers our self-awareness, our feel good, our dopamine by itself, basically. That's why it's superior to all kinds of photos and videos of every kind. The naked female body, there's nothing more beautiful than the naked female body when it comes to men. Yeah. Oh yeah, so the only thing that's superior to females when it comes to us men is us males, but not sexually. More like we're above females. That's why our peace mind is over our chaos mind, which is our second mind, another term for female. Yeah. That's why if men had to choose one, we choose peace, because we choose ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But females are based off that side of us. That's why we love, enjoying them naked. Yeah. That's why it never gets old. It's forever fun. There's no boredom. Exactly. So I answered your question, right? So yeah, when you look at them on the outside, it's just you becoming self-aware on the outside. Though we have our own self-awareness, so we are already self-aware we don't need a woman's just the outer physical embodiment of self-awareness itself. That's it. That's why they motivate us twice as much, Because we can motivate ourselves. When we look at a woman, the reason why we get overwhelmed with motivation energy is because they're literally the physical embodiment of motivation itself. So we get 2 times the power when it comes to a woman. And then if there's even more women, like 3 women added that we'll look at, then we'll get 4 times the motivation power. Exactly. It increases depending on how many women there are. Because women are literally motivation itself on the outside. That's why. So yeah. But anyway, I wanted to explain it in very detail at the deepest level. You know what I'm saying? I hope this is not confusing, to you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you understand, right? So that's pretty much what it means. Why we're attracted to that. It's the same reason why the Creator is attracted to the chaos and the earth, and wisdom, and like the female spirits, and because like I said, species are attracted to their female counterparts sexually, and but if you sum it all up, it's all because the male is think about us males as the unconscious looking at the self-awareness, and see, it's a triggering in the response, and or think about us males being the peace looking at the chaos, that we control. You know what I'm saying? Or how it feels to control the chaos from the void. See, base it off of the original male and female, the void, the chaos. Yeah, we look at her, we're controlling the chaos, and so imagine how good that feels. Yeah, and also when we look at her, we're getting off of her because she's motivation, she's self-awareness. So when you look at a female, that's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say you're becoming self-aware. It's like the beginning, like how it was in the beginning of the universe, and the reason why you feel twice as motivated is because we really have the self-awareness within us, but they're just females are just another self-awareness. They're basically the same, you know, motivation that's within us. This is why we can motivate ourselves. We don't need women for that. But if we look at a woman, then it will double because it's two of the same energies in one place. So when you, yeah. But you can learn to motivate yourself. But with your own awareness, you can learn to motivate yourself like many times over without a woman or even a harem woman. Yeah. It depends on the man what he chooses. So, but yeah, so that's why it feels that way. Women are the physical embodiment of our second mind. You know, the self-awareness, the emotion, the ego, the chaos, the necessary evil counterpart, the shadow mind. You know, that's right. So that's the embodiment of females. That's why we feel that way when we look at them. Yep. So anyway, I hope you understand. Peace.